What would you do if the past came knocking at your door? Would you welcome it into your current life or leave it be and not mind it at all? Well, what if this not-so-coincidental meetup lead to hundreds of heartbreaks and revelations? What would you do? Making a fresh start in California, Simon and Robin were on a hunt for a place to call their own. They were excited as they scanned their new house, loving everything about it. On their stay at the local store, Simon stumbled upon an old classmate. At first, he did not recognize the man, but as they conversed, the man introduced himself as Gordo and the two quickly hit it off. But the couple had to leave soon, so they bid each other farewell. As the couple settled into their new neighborhood, Robin could not suppress her longing for a child. Suddenly, Gordo left them a wine bottle as a welcome gift for moving into the neighborhood. Of course, the two were surprised, but they did not mind how he knew their address. To celebrate their stay, as promised, the couple rekindled their love for one another. But it could be seen in Robin's eyes that something was off. It turned out she was pregnant a year ago, but things did not go as planned. One day, Gordo arrived and started to chat with Robin. Robin was uncomfortable talking with the man, however, out of courtesy she still talked with him. When Gordo mentioned his interest in the couple's place, Robin felt it was right to escort the man inside the household. Robin had a fun time showing the place to Gordo, but the man suddenly saw something interesting back in the couple's room. He discovered the baby toys they had, sparking his interest in the couple having a child together. When he voiced this out, Robin was in pain and dodged his questions. They moved into the living room, where Robin shared her plans for remodeling the place. As the conversation went on, Robin called her husband and said they should eat dinner together. As they enjoyed dinner, the couple could not shake the feeling of getting irritated with this high school friend of Simon. But, like the friendly neighbor they were, they had to endure the friend's stay. As they talked, the couple get to know more about this friend, and Robin believed he was here just to rekindle the old memories and nothing more. But still, Simon genuinely was awkward with this so-called friend. For the greater good, Simon wished that this would be the end of their meeting. Sometime after, the couple was at a gathering at Simon's workplace. They were all enjoying themselves, meeting new colleagues, and sharing their life expectancies. Soon, Simon and Robin sneaked out of the party, and they went to Simon's new office. They began talking about their plans, emphasizing on Robin's well-being for them to conceive a child together. Of course, they were in it together, and they would continue with life with each other. As they went home, they noticed a gift was left before their doorway. It was again from Gordo, and this time the man has gifted them a mini pond filled with fish. Robin found the gift rather sweet, but this little stunt bothered Simon greatly. He tried to talk things out with Robin, saying Gordo was a weird person back in the old days and that he was at it again. But Robin thought otherwise, for she believed the man was just misunderstood. Of course, this ended up being one of those nights. The couple had a small confrontation. Once again, Gordo arrived the next day. Thankful for the lovely fish he gave, Robin invited the man over. Gordo kindly set the TV up for the two, which Robin was very appreciative for. But as he was cleaning the mess, she saw Simon listing his number with Weirdo as the name. This hurt Gordo and he left the place immediately. That evening, Simon and Robin were invited to dinner by the other neighbors. They talked about the incident earlier, gathering various insights from the others. They all believed the high school classmates should talk about this conflict and for Simon to kindly ask Gordon to leave them be. But, in Robin's defense, it would be too harsh to shoo the man away, believing he just needed a friend. In the long run, all of them may have different say about this, but it was clear they all thought Gordo was acting weirdly. Nevertheless, the couple went to Gordo's place when they received his invitation. When they arrived at his place, they were stunned to witness how lavish Gordo's place was. Once inside, they could not help but pour compliments about the overall look of the house. But suddenly, Gordo had to leave because of work, leaving the two to speculate about the man's life. This time, Simon did not stop and implied how he believed Gordo was so into his wife that the man did everything just to see her. Robin denied this possibility, but Simon was stern. Soon, Simon initiated for them to search the place, and Robin could only accompany her husband's silliness. But as the two ventured the place, they stumbled upon things they thought were odd. For instance, Gordo's confession of not having a wife was now questionable because there were women's clothes and a child's room upstairs. Surely, something was off, but their investigation was cut short when the man returned home. Back in the living room, Simon wanted to ask the man about his job. Because of his intimidation, Gordo confessed he had an ex-wife, saying they were in a rough relationship and were having a hard time. Robin was moved by Gordo's story, but this was the end for Simon. He requested for Robin to wait in their car as he and Gordo had to talk things out. As Robin left them, Simon immediately talked about his concerns, requesting for the man to let them be and for him to focus on his issues. Robin was not happy about this, hurt to see this genuine person have to face rejection at such a sentimental time of his life. But Simon had enough and just wanted to say goodbye. As they left the house, Simon exploded when the gate did not open. Maybe out of petty revenge, it seemed Gordo was taunting the angry man. That night, as the couple cuddled in bed, Robin could not shake the feeling of worries. And sure enough, what welcomed Robin after her morning jog was worth worrying about. All their pet fish died and their pet dog was missing. Simon had enough of this blackmailing, and he rushed to Gordo's place. However, Simon did not expect to see other people living in that house. They end up reporting the disappearance of their dog, and because of this, they knew Gordo did not own that house. However, Simon was not interested about his knowledge. All he cared about was retrieving their missing dog, but without any evidence, they could not press charges. As Robin prepared her missing report posters, she felt someone else was inside her home. Feeling threatened, Robin went to her neighbor's house to voice out her worries. She also snuck pills from their medicine cabinet and take them home to alleviate her worries. But as Robin went to bed, she discovered something was off again. Curious, she searched her place and was surprised to see her dog had finally returned home. Now, Simon was sure Gordo was messing with his family. In the morning, Robin received a letter from Gordo. It stated how sorry the man was for disturbing the two, and that he would not bother them anymore. So, Simon proposed for them to forget everything and leave the past behind. Due to stress, Robin had a nightmare about Gordo, completely setting off her mood the very next day. That same day, however, Simon was expecting to get a promotion at work which he was looking forward to. What he did not know was Robin fainted because of too much anxiety. The next day, they talked about the pills, which put Simon in a sour mood. He wished for them to be okay, for them to start a new life together and not worry about the past. It was a heated argument between the couple, but as Simon suggested, they had to look forward in life and let go of this Gordo issue. So, with a better prospect in life, Robin looked forward to the greater things and started to heal over time. And finally, they were about to become parents like what they had always wanted. But once again, Robin had an encounter with Gordo, and since then, she had not been doing so well. She could not take the tension any longer, so she asked her sister-in-law about Gordo. It turned out the man was bullied back in high school because of his sexuality, and Simon was one of the kids that reported what had happened to Gordo before. By this time, Robin was certain she had to find the whole truth. So, she searched for the other person related to the incident, and finally, she heard the truth. Discovering her husband had destroyed Gordo's life made her feel belittled and not sure whether to trust him anymore. This revelation ended up in a heated argument once again, but this time, Robin had enough and told him all of her feelings. To make it up to his depressed wife, he asked what he could do, but Robin bitterly smiled at him, and his apology was not needed. So, the only option he had left was to come clean with Gordo. He then ventured to one of Gordo's workplaces, and he wanted to ask for the man's forgiveness. But it turned out he was not sincere about his apologies, and instead forced Gordo to accept them. And this resulted in Gordo to say he was already too late. This angered Simon so much he had to physically demanded for Gordo to accept his apology. He did not have enough and warned him to never get involved with his family ever again. Back home, when Robin questioned his progress, Simon felt guilty and asked for her forgiveness instead. This made her emotional, and so she gave in to his meltdown. Sometime later, all of their current friends were invited to celebrate Simon's promotion. As they were celebrating, they heard a ruckus from outside. Suddenly, a huge rock was thrown through their window, smashing the glasses to bits. This alerted the men and all were now in pursuit of the perpetrator. It turned out to be one of Simon's competitors for the job position. He accused Simon of cheating, saying it was because of him that he was fired. All were worried about the sudden turn of events, but Simon just dismissed it as if nothing had ever happened. And it was such bad timing for the baby has decided it was time to show up. But after their child was born, Simon received a call from work saying he was fired for fabricating lies about his competitor. And to make things worse, Robin did not want to be with Simon for the time being. Frustrated, he went home defeated after the tiring day. But as he arrived, he discovered yet another gift was by their porch. At the same time, Gordo went to the hospital and visited the recovering Robin. As Simon opened the gift, he was skeptical of what was inside the box. It was a normal-looking baby carriage, which was completely acceptable. But later on, he discovered there were 3 other boxes inside the baby carriage. They were numbered according to the order he had to open them. The first one was a simple key, but Simon was greatly concerned when he realized it was a spare key of their place. The second one was an audio recording about the time when he and his wife were at Gordo's supposedly home. It contained all the insults he spat about Gordo, making fun of the man as he mocked him in front of his wife. Meanwhile, Gordo has awoken Robin, and he visited to congratulate the woman. At first, Robin was conscious of him, but seeing the wounds he had, Robin could only feel sorry for the man. She knew it was Simon who did it, making her mood much sour. The last gift that Simon has to open was a clear indication of revenge. In it were stolen video recordings of his wife. At first, they were only taken from a distance, but one scene stood the most. It showed how Robin fainted, which disheartened Simon the most. By this time, the video taker had entered their house, moved Robin to their bedroom, and subjectively made a move on his wife. But this was not taken by the video, so Simon was not sure of what had happened. Afraid of the possibility, he dashed right back to the hospital to confirm whether Robin was fine. When he arrived, he, unfortunately, discovered she was gone. Frantic, he searched everywhere until he stumbled upon Gordo once again. In his anger, he ran after the man, but he lost track of him along the way. As the minutes passed by, he suddenly got a call from Gordo. He immediately confronted the man and demanded him to clarify what had happened. But as a means of taunting him, Gordo gave him mixed signals, flaring up Simon's worries. Feeling defeated, Simon retreated to the nursery where he saw Robin nursing their child. But for some reason, the fear and uncertainties eliminated him from within. He now has doubts and was heavily disheartened by the possibilities. Seeing his former bully on his knees, Gordo was satisfied with the events. Now that he made Simon's life a living hell as what he had experienced, it was safe to say his payback was worth the wait.